Welcome. My name's Super Saiyan and this is your weekly news and pre-order video covering all of the new releases from Forge World and Games Workshop. I make videos every single week about 40k stuff. I also cover the Warhammer 40,000 Conquest subscription and try and cover all of the new releases. Thank you for all of you viewers that continue to come back every video and enjoy it. If you'd like to support the channel on Patreon, I do have a Patreon page. It was actually suggested that I create one by one of my subscribers, so thank you if you support the channel that way. If you can't support the channel for like $1 a month, you can always go on Element Games and just buy all of your Warhammer stuff through them using the affiliate link in the description below this video. That tells them that I've basically told you about them, and I think I get like $1 or $2 per order or whatever, and there are quite a few of you that do that, so thank you ever so much for just buying stuff through the link. It means a lot. Let's jump on over to the community website where there are a lot of news. There's been a lot of news over the past week or so. So if we rewind time and go back to November the 9th, which is about a week ago, we could pre-order the Underhive Dark Uprising set. The day after, on the 10th, on the Sunday, there are some lovely juicy reveals from the Black Library Weekender 2019. This awesome looking pair of models, Valerian and Alea. I think Valerian's head is too big compared to the other sort of helmetless Custodes, in my opinion. Like where his head is compared to his shoulders, just looks like his shoulders are a bit too low on his body. Alea's pretty nice though, and sizes, the way they've sort of shot that picture, looks like Alea is taller than Valerian, but then if you look at this here, it's nowhere near that. Of course, it's nowhere near that. But that's the new Watchers of the Throne novel by Chris Raitt. The first wall in the Horus Heresy Siege of Terror series by Gav Thorpe. Awesome looking artwork there. And then you've got a Lionel Johnson Primarch novel by David Geimer. There's the Horus Rising, which is, it says here, limited version of him, available from Warhammer World and Warhammer Citadel in the USA. And then you've got a few more books here. This celebration here, this will be anthology. This will be a free anthology at the celebration, and also you can get Adeptus Custodes dice, which I already have some, but these black and gold ones look pretty good, and then some Legion pin badges, which look pretty awesome too, and that's going to be in 2020. I think it says February, but it just says Black Library Celebration 2020, but I think it's February time. Oh, first wall is book 3. Apologies, and then it shows. Book 4, Saturnine, anyway, that'll be book 4 by Dan Ebnat. And then you've got another Siege of Terror novel, which is the Sons of Selenor, and this is a novella. And then some other books coming out, and some more Necromunda books, Warhammer Horror, anthologies, and some disc audio dramas. So yeah, quite a lot to be revealed at the weekend, more than I kind of thought that there would be. So that's cool. Then on the same day, Battle Sisters. Lovely article here. You can order first wave of new plastic Adepta Sororitas models in the form of the Sisters of Battle army set. It's up there today to pre-order, or it was. It sold out everywhere. It sold out really quickly. A couple of websites that I normally, all the websites I normally use to have a look and compare like prices and things, they were very, very slow. So these, again, Games Workshop, they can try and gauge interest and demand, but they always seem to fail. They failed in Adeptus Titanicus. That must have cost them so much, because that was sold out within 10 minutes, that box set. Really disappointing, and I only managed to get it more than half a year later. I think it was almost a year later I managed to get that set. And this is the same story, unfortunately. This was sold out within a half an hour or so on the various websites that I use, including Games Workshop's website. It's no longer available there. The battle set looks incredible. You only get 25 miniatures at the end of the day, but we'll go through the set fully on the website in a moment. Then they also announced this awesome looking Chaos Sorcerer, and then the Shadow Spear box set. All the models have been split into two start collecting sets. Pretty poor if you ask me. I don't like the direction that they're going in terms of these. All of these models are single monopose models without any extra parts or customization at all. They all build the models that are on there, and there's some twins. There's quite a lot of twins in the Vanguard one. There's no twins in the Chaos Space Marine set, and if you haven't already picked up those models, that's a great way of doing so, and I strongly suggest you pick up the Chaos one. But the Vanguard Space Marines, I wouldn't even touch it, because there are lots of twins in there. You're better off getting the separate kits. Obviously you can't get the suppressors separate, which is quite poor, and they should actually release a separate kit at some point for them. But yeah, the Chaos Space Marine one is worth getting. Faith and Fury, so it's the second Psychic Awakening book, has a load of extra rules and data cards for Black Templars and lots of the Chaos Space Marine chapters as well. You get these cards if you pre-order it from Games Workshop. And then these, Ripper's Snarflangs for Beastgrave, and some dice and some sleeves and a gift pack. There you go. Nice little Champions of Dreadfane. 7 models and some cards. Black Library, and this is up for pre-order today. Solar War in paperback, finally. Again, it's been 6 or 7 months since that was up on hardback. There's no excuse, should be in paperback at the same time. It really annoys me that they don't just give you all the choices at once. I know it's to try and bump up the numbers for people buying the hardback, because they're forced to, because there's no option to buy it in softback. However, it's a poor way of doing it, and the hardback books sell out silly fast anyway, so the demand is there. This is what baffles me about Games Workshop making things in limited quantities and limited supplies. The demand is clearly there. People want this stuff and they want the choice. Games Workshop refusing to go down that route. This looks really good as well. The Great Devourer, lovely omnibus of books there. And then this new book, this new novel, Mark of Faith, by Rachel Harrison, and the limited edition version of it as well. That's out. So let's go back and have a look at a few more of the articles that are on the news site. There was Big Brothers episode 6, Psychic Awakening, Power of Belief, first look at the book, unboxing the set. We're going to basically unbox it anyway. Rumour Engine, chapter focus for the Black Templars, Battle Sisters on the Battlefield, what you missed at the Black Library Weekender. So if you couldn't go there, that'll save you a bit of money, because you get to find out a bit more what happened. Regimental Standard, Sisters About to be on the box. So it says, so it really hypes it up, and this is another thing. They obviously spent money and time hyping it up, not only from this time last year, but with this article saying, oh look, this is when it's all going to be up for pre-order, and then it gets sold out really quickly. Like, you don't even need to hype it up, it'll get sold out anyway. These are the individual models that are coming up then. Hot on their power armoured heels will be an entire sisterhood of fanatical warriors unleashed in multi-part plastic early next year. So this is like the Sisters of Battle Army box is coming out now with that codex, but the codex isn't being released separately, which baffles me. So there are going to be some people with part of the Sisters of Battle army with the new codex, but they don't have any of these other new models. So if you're a gamer, you're going to be waiting quite a while, quite a few months, before the rest of your army's released. I think it's a poor way of handling it. They've had over a year or two to get these models up and ready, and they are ready there. You can see they're all painted, ready to go. But they've staggered this release, and I wonder if they're kind of experimenting with some kind of process here. Really detrimental to a release, to release part of an army and then the rest of it much later on. Doesn't do anyone any favours. Games Workshop any favours, the fans any favours. And now they've hyped these models up. Fingers crossed that they make enough of them. But you've got the Exorcist there, Drone, you've got some, Hospitalia and the new actual troop choices. So you hear the Battle Sisters. They look pretty good. I love the running poses and the bald heads rather than these silly haircuts. I think there should be more variety in those haircuts. Especially if you can have some of them that are bald. It basically begs the question, you can have any haircut then for a Sister of Battle. It doesn't have to be a uniformed one. See, look at that, brilliant, absolutely fantastic. I love the flamer with the mask as well. That's awesome. And I really like the helmet that hinges open with that bolt gun. These are the champions. So you've got the Hospitalia. Basically, yeah, it surpasses my expectations there. You've got the is it Dialogus? Yeah, that looks alright. Love the writing. Be interesting to see. That's all painted, I would have thought. And then you've got the Imagifier. Pretty cool. Is that heavy? Well, she's in power armor, but I think it's a different take on like a banner to have like a actual motif thing. And then you've got this multi-part Canoness. Exactly the same pose, whichever weapon you use. Choose, which kind of sucks if you want a couple of them, because the weapons are awesome. You've got this torch, like the fact that there's a torch as a weapon with a plasma pistol. It'd be cool if she could like press a button and the torch actually spews flames as well. That would be interesting. And you've got a chainsaw with a melter pistol, I think, and then just a power sword with a bolt pistol. I think that face is a bit derpy looking. I really like this face though, and probably the helmet. But that one is my favourite, I think, out of them. Then you've got Junith Iruta. Anyway, you've got this legendary living saint. You've got Junith Iruta, Canoness Superior of the Order of our Martyred Lady with a centrepiece kit so magnificent it rivals any model in the Warhammer 40,000 range. I don't know about that, but definitely Forge World Q's got this big flame cannon on the bottom. Obviously using anti-grav technology. I like all the writing there. Catherine, Dominica, Arabella, Lucia, Mina and Sylvana. Her face is very derpy looking. Eyes are too far apart. Looks like an alien or something. But I really like this double-headed eagle. Looks fantastic. I reckon people can modify this and have a Custodes sat on there. That would still work. Anyway, so you've got a nice little look at some of the other models. We've seen the Exorcist and the Immolator tanks already as well as the Rhino. So there's more kits around the corner. We just got to be patient and wait, like we haven't already been. Then you've got a focus on Ripper's Starfangs, Battle Sisters on the Battlefield Part 2, Chaos Space Marines, why you need Faith and Fury. I don't like articles where they prey on a need. Like, no one needs any of this stuff at all. It would be good to have it phrased as why Faith and Fury will boost your Chaos Space Marines rather than you need it. But anyway, you've got the Deredeo Dreadnought. You've got different, I don't know why they showed the old ones in the Rogue Trader. They look totally different now, but it shows these new weapon kits. Still no Atamantic Pervase though, which gives it an invulnerable save. Where is that? Instead they've worked out these Boreas air defense missiles are more important in games of Horus Heresy, because there's so many flyers in Horus Heresy, than an invulnerable save, or better invulnerable save. I like Red Gobbo's just there, it's pretty cool. But you've also got it able to be kitted out with not only the Boreas missile launcher, but this Volkite Falconet battery. Looks really awesome, mainly because of the highlighting job and the metallic effects that they've put on there, and the shading for the cables. It does look a really nice weapon, and just vapping things. I mean, if you thought the autocannons looked good, or the las cannons, this just takes it to a whole other layer with the flamers as well. So if you're on the fence with the Deredeo, now would be a good time to pick one up, although I'm still waiting for that Pervase. You've got another turn signals on the Land Raider, article, Jack, double warband focus, Old World, new Warhammer, Space Marines, why you need Faith and Fury, and then Meme Hammer, you're welcome. So it's odd that they don't have any articles about Sisters of Battle like for pre-order today. I think that might come out later today or tomorrow, focusing on the actual box set a bit more in detail. I know they did a preview last week and during the week, but sometimes they put an article on the date that actually comes out. Okay, let's jump on over to Forge and have a look at that Deredeo Dreadnought, which is right here. I love the colour scheme. I like the way they're going with the Imperial Fists and promoting them. It doesn't work in this environment though, with all of these buildings and scenery and things. I would have preferred it shown on like a landing pad, Sky Shield landing pad, or some kind of spaceport rather than this built up area. It does look very out of place. But if we go to new pre-orders, it is just the Deredeo Dreadnought. I don't know why the Iron Hands Legion Contemptor Dreadnought is there. I think we've had one of those before. Maybe it was out of stock and they've just put it back up there again. But it does say pre-order for £38. £73 will net you the Dreadnought with the weapon options. So it works out the same as if you bought it and the weapon options separately. It's up to you if you're against flyers in your games. You can actually go down to the downloads. I wish they did the painting stuff below this description. I think it's just silly, in my opinion. This should be higher up. If you go to downloads, click for your free PDF. It's pretty good that they've actually included it for free, obviously because they've added this brand new Volkite Falconet battery, which I don't think existed before. They've got the rules for it down here. So you've now got four big main weapons for the Deredeo. You've got the Anvilis autocannon battery, the Arachnus heavy las cannon, the Hellfire plasma cannonade, and then the Volkite Falconet, which is only a 30-inch range. So this thing may well be vulnerable to close combat attacks. It's a strength 7 AP minus AP 5, heavy 60 flag rate and neural overload. It's good that it's 6 shots. Means it's got more shots than any of the other options. Deflag rate, neural overload. Infantry suffers 1 wound. Take a leadership. If it's failed, it can only do snapshots. And deflag rate is you resolve a number of additional automatic hits if you get unsafe wounds on the unit. So it just keeps adding the wounds. Boreas air defense missile is pretty good though. This is why I wish the Volkite was a bit further range. Typically they haven't been very far range weaponry, but if that was 36, that would be a no-brainer. The air defense is good though. It's a 48-inch range weapon. I don't know whether it beats the ILS missile launcher though, but it is a strength 8 AP2, heavy 1, heat seeker, independent tracking and 1 use. But it does get that independent tracking, and it does get the heat seeker, so you don't get the jinx saves. I like that it's 48 inches, but personally I think it should have been further, considering it's the same range as like a las cannon. And I don't like how it's 1 use and only 1 shot. You get 1 shot with this thing, even though there's lots of missiles on there. I mean, it's got one use, and it gives you the profile for 1 missile. It's important to note that you do have 4 missiles. So you get 4 of them for 24 points, which is really quite cheap in my opinion. They are 1 use, but if you definitely want flyers to be taken down, they don't get the jinx saves, they get hit on the side armour, and it can fire at a different target to that of other shooting attacks, then it's quite a good anti-air weaponry. I just wish it was like a 60-inch range. That would be my only downside to that, because they look like they can go the distance, further than a las cannon anyway. So that is what's up for pre-order. The weapons are separate, £20 for the Volkite Falconet battery and $14 for the air defense missiles. Looks pretty good. I don't know whether that loadout works, but there we go. Let's jump on over to Games Workshop and have a look at those brand new Sisters of Battle models then. Big promotion on here. complete waste of time and money, in my opinion, because you can't get it. If we go to new and exclusive, and we click on pre-orders, and we go view all. So Necromunda Dark Uprising Mortali's Zone collection is out of stock. I think it's because of the tile set probably. But Dark Uprising you can still get. That was at pre-order last weekend. Mark of Faith collection. So you've got the battle set plus the limited edition book. That says no longer available online. I think it's because of the book though. So that's £165. The normal book and the collection is £143. You don't save any extra money there. The book is £18 hardback, which I think is a bit of a cash grab and quite expensive anyway. To be fair, it's not a Horus Heresy novel. I remember Horus Heresy novels only like a year ago costing like £16 hardback. Then they shot up to £18. Now like the Siege of Terror is like £20. It's very aggressive, their pricing, the way they're increasing them at the moment. So you can get the box set plus the novel. Then you've got the army set, which is the main box set. It is no longer available. That's what they're saying. It sold out pretty quickly within half an hour, I want to say. You've got the Canoness there. You've got a 360 view of the Battle Sisters. You've got the Repentia. You've got all the models themselves. You've got the Repentia Superior with the Neural Whip. Or Neural Whips, sorry. I like the crackling effect that they've done on the whip as well. You've got more Battle Sisters. You've got the Arco Flagellants, not flatulence, but flagellants, and rightly so. There is a female one there. I think that's the female one. I think these two are male. You'd expect there to be female ones too. You'd expect them, you know. Anyway, so you got those. You've got the Seraphim, which look awesome. But this is just what they're going to have. They're not going to have any flamers. Can't see any flamers anywhere, which kind of sucks. This is just what you're going to get. And you've got one Penitent Engine. They're all monopose models. You're not going to be able to pose them in any other way. I think it's a lot of money for what it is, £125. The Codex would no doubtly be £25. Oh, you've got some more artwork there. Yeah, that Codex, they say it's a limited edition. I think it would normally be £25 anyway, this Codex. Yes, it's got a different funky cover, but I don't think it's soft touch or anything like that. It just says 112 page hardback book cover, exclusive cover. It's only 112 pages, at least it broke the 100 page mark, but it's just got an exclusive cover. There's nothing really special about it other than that cover. It's going to be the same as the standard edition that will probably come out next year. There's no soft touch, no page keeper, nothing like that. This is a preview of what's inside. Of course you're going to see models in there that you haven't seen before, or maybe they've already been revealed. You get the cards and you get a transfer sheet as well, and you get some miracle dice. You also get a new novel, Mark of Faith. You can scan that code and you can read a chapter. That's pretty generous. Would have been great if they also had that book in with this set. I think that would make it a must buy. £125 for the Codex, the dice, the cards, all the 25 models and the actual novel. That would have been good. It's nice to see the Codex in with a set now. You know, like we've had some sets recently, like the Blood of the Phoenix, where the Codex really should have been in there, in my opinion. I say the Codex, you know, the Psychic Awakening, that really should have been in there. You got to look at the sprues. I think it could be 5 sprues, one for the Canoness, and then this one duplicated, and this one duplicated. I think, just because this is quite a small sprue, it's only got 2 Seraphim sort of jump packs, and this one's got 1. Maybe it's 4 sprues, and this one's duplicated. But it's hard to tell. Either way, it's more than 3 sprues. It's got to be. But that's what you get. You get your 25 models. It's more than you get in the Start Collecting set. Normally you get 10, a Dreadnought and like a vehicle or something else. This at least you're getting, you know, Seraphim, a Penitent Engine, 7 of these odd models, 10 Battle Sisters and the Canoness. So you're getting sort of like, I want to say 2 units more than a start collecting set. You're getting the codex and you're getting the cards and you're getting the dice. So, and start collecting sets are what, £55, £60? So an extra £60 does seem about right for an extra 2 or 3 units and a codex. I was expecting this set to be £150 or so. I think £125 is still steep, but guess what? It's not actually that steep because it's all sold out everywhere. And there are still enough people that are happy with the price of this set, because if there weren't, it wouldn't have been sold out everywhere. And money talks at the end of the day, and unfortunately that is going to affect the prices of the Sisters of Battle kits when they release. Games Workshop are really going to push that Immolator and Exorcist tanks. I'm sure they're going to try and push them to be £40-45. And that special character, easy 35 or £40 for that special character, I'm sure, Junith. Anyway, you've got Start Collecting Chaos Space Marines collection. If you haven't already jumped on board with Chaos Space Marines, I strongly suggest you do, because those models are amazing. The Start Collecting set is good because it's half of the Vanguard, it's half of the Shadowspear box set, which are incredible models, and the Codex is very good too. £85, you don't save any money there. The Vanguard one and the Codex, I can't really recommend it. Unfortunately, I can recommend the Codex at least because they've dropped prices and they've tweaked a few things. But the box set itself, you're not missing an awful lot if you don't get that Start Collecting set, which are here, and they're now £60. Start Collecting sets like last year were 50, went up to 55. They're now £60. It's hard to justify, especially the Space Marine one, for £60 when you get so many twins. It's hard to justify that. The Chaos Space Marine one, you can sort of justify it. You got your 10 Space Marines, you got the Mutilators. Are they called Mutilators or Obliterators? I can't remember. Is it Obliterators? It is Obliterators. Yeah, you get the Venom Crawler, which would normally be £30-35. You get the Obliterators, which again is probably £30. That's already 60. You get 2 Greater Possessed. I'd probably say that's £25 for both of them. And then you get 10 Chaos Space Marines, which we know are £35. So if you just look at it from, and you get the HQ as well. So that's a really good Start Collecting set. You're getting an HQ, Troop Choice, Elites, well, 2 Elites, and a Heavy Support. So you're getting 5 options there. You're getting 16 models, which is only 9 models less than the Battle Sisters collection. But obviously, yeah, you get the Codex with that. But it's still really good pickup, and if you haven't got them, I suggest that. That's one of the best buys this week, especially if you can get it from third-party retailer. Don't pay £60 for it. You get the Champions of Dreadfane collection for £51. Psychic Awakening Faith and Fury Collector's Edition, £50. I don't know why you would buy a collector's edition of a sort of campaign book thing. £50 for the First Wall by Gav Thorpe. Again, £50 for a novel, astronomical, no longer available. There are 2,500 of them. So congratulations to Games Workshop. They've just made £125,000 in one day. Pretty sure that'll buy Gav a nice new car. But there is interest for these limited edition books. They're iconic. They're gonna last the test of time because it's fiction, science fiction from a period which has passed, which Games Workshop can't go back and mess with. They're messing with 40k at the moment because it's a 10 minutes to midnight thing, but Horus Heresy's sort of done and dusted, so these will stick, I think. Anyway, you've got Mark of Faith Special Edition, £40. Really like this book, really like the cover. Again, it's no longer available. It looks just like a book out of Sisters of Battle. It's just fantastic. It looks like one of the books that they'd carry around. Signed by Rachel Harrison. They messed up. They only made 1,250 of these, unfortunately. They should have made the same as First Wall. I would have bought one. They made £62,000 today, so it's been a good day so far, especially with the box set as well. I would say they'd taken £500,000, probably £1 million today. Yeah, they've made a lot of money today, Games Workshop. If only they'd made more of the stuff. Anyway, you've got Ripper's Snarlfangs collections, which I already showed in the community website. That's £36 with the dice and the cards and the sleeves. You got the Champions of Dreadfane, £35. All the Lord of the Rings stuff was on pre-order last weekend. The Faith and Fury book is £25. It's a second book. Personally, I would rather have all of these Psychic Awakening books in one big tome. I want to know how many of these books are actually planned, because the Chaos ones, the Vigilus ones, sort of stopped at 2, I think it was, and then that was it. So it just ended there. It explains that it's 96 pages. The Phoenix Rising book had 80 pages, so it's 16 more pages, but then again it covers more. You get expanded army rules for Heretic Astartes, warlord traits, tactical objective, name generators as well. It covers Chaos Space Marine Legions, Word Bearers, Night Lords, Alpha Legion, Iron Warriors, Emperor's Children, and World Eaters. I'm getting it mainly for the Word Bearers, but it also has something about the Black Templars chapter as well. It's pretty good. You got some previews here, missions, so on. You got a Necromunda graffiti sheet. I think that was up last week. And something new was this Mark of Faith hardback, £18. Again, I think I'm pushing it. I think they're pushing it a little bit. Doesn't say number of pages, but it's probably going to be about 300 something. I think this should have been £15 or maybe 16 at a push. They're really pushing these hardback novels now at close to a £20 price point. The Chaos Space Marine Sorcerer, though, is quite nice at £17.50. If it's £15, that'd be great, but similar, like all of the Death Guard single model miniatures, like the Abologist, Putrefier, and the Surgeon, things like that, they're all £17.50, so it's nice that this one's £17.50 too. If they charge £20, wouldn't go near it, but it's quite a decent looking model. Yeah, you're missing out on the customization. Everyone's Chaos Sorcerer is going to look the same, but I think it's a really nice pose, and yeah, he works quite well with the Psychic Awakening book too. I think he's sort of on the cover. He's going to look good in my Word Bearers colours as well. Where was he at the start of the year? It would have been nice if he had been with the rest of the Chaos Space Marines, but yeah, if Games Workshop are going to do this and release brand new model for one of these Psychic Awakening books, that's all right, but I would have liked a few more things, a bit more of a focus on this new book, because they had the whole Blood of the Phoenix. I'm sure there's going to be a box set or something soon before Christmas with Blood Angels. Mephiston is just round the corner, so we're going to see him at some point. They've also got this Leviathan Omnibus in paperback, $12.99. You've got 4 novellas and 4 short stories. It doesn't say how many pages it is, which is a shame, but look at all these. You've got Valador, Last Days of Ector, Deathstorm, Tempestus, Devourer, Wraith Flight, Shadow of the Leviathan, Word of the Silent King, and Dreadnought. Big omnibus. I'm going to Games Workshop in a couple of weeks, the HQ, so I'll probably pick up a book and have a look at it there. You've got Solar War, again, finally in paperback, $12.99 though. That's very expensive. In my opinion, I think the hardback should be £16 or £18, but the paperback £13. No, it should be tenner. That's just far too much in my opinion for what it is. They're really pushing the prices of these Horus Heresy Siege of Terror books, and I don't like it. They set the prices because it is just Horus Heresy Siege of Terror, not for any other reason. There's vast discrepancies in all of their novels and the prices that they've come to. Has the Solar War, has the Siege of Terror series cost more than any of the others? I wouldn't have thought so. It's definitely generated more money for them, so you'd think they'd have the prices at an equal level or similar sort of level as their other novels, but they're not choosing to do that. Zone Mortalis set, that was last week, so was Necromunda dice set. And that is it. Oh yeah, you got the dice for the Ripper Snarlfangs. Not a big fan of these ones that look dirty already. It makes it harder for you to see the icons on them. And then you got the Psychic Awakening Faith and Fury data sheet cards. If you get Psychic Awakening Faith and Fury, you get these cards, which is pretty good. I think you only get 5 though. Chaos Sorcerer, Marshal, Chaplain, and Cenobite Servitors, and the Crusader Squad. That's it. So you get those 5 cards. and there is 5 there if you look. But you get them if you get the new Psychic Awakening book. So there you go. That is all of the news and pre-orders. Very long video today. Apologies, but there was a lot to cover, and I'm pleased I went through it all with you. You've got the new Dreadnought weapons for the Deredeo, but the main focus this week was the first release of all of these Sisters of Battle models. I personally think that this is going to be it, though. If you want my opinion, I think it's just going to be this Battle Army set, and then we're not going to hear anything until January, maybe February, for the rest of those other models and the Codex. I think we've got some Blood Angels around the corner, and Mephiston, and a couple of other treats from Forge World as well. Anyway, what do you guys think of all of the pre-orders today, and specifically of that Sisters of Battle box set? I think it is worth it in terms of what you get, but only just, and if you're not a big fan of monopose models, then you really are worth waiting to get the full kits and put the money towards them if you prefer them. But what do you guys think? Put it in the comments below. As always, it'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.